Hi guys, welcome to this new video on Python. In this video, we are going to see about how you can control this S3 bucket with Python AWS CLI. So if you are not aware about S3 buckets, they are used in lot of startups as well as lot of MNCs use them. So they are just a cloud storage service that is provided by Amazon, and it's like an excellent service. So you can start using the AWS S3 buckets from your AWS management console. You just need to create an account, AWS account, and then you can search for the AWS S3 service. So if you click on the AWS S3 service, you see here I have no buckets here. So currently there is no bucket here, but what we'll do is that we'll create a bucket. Then I'll show you how to list the buckets that are present in your console, as well as delete the buckets, add objects to the buckets. That is, any object you can add to the bucket, basically images, videos, CSVs, whatever that you can store, that can be added, how to delete those objects, and also the metadata of the objects. So let's get started. So I will be using VS Code for the sake of this video, because VS Code has a very good extension for IPYNBs nowadays, and it is like pretty awesome. So along with GitHub Copilot, it is just to the next level. So I'll be using VS Code for this video. So the main library that we will be requiring in this video is the Boto3 library, that is specially made for AWS CLI. So whatever clients or whatever services that you want to handle on your AWS, so you need to create clients with the help of Boto3. So we'll import Boto3, and we'll also ignore the errors with the Boto3 core exceptions, import no credential errors. So let's run this cell and let's see what's lying in this folder. So currently I have the same IPYNB notebook, and I have one addresses CSV which will be creating and uploading to the S3 bucket that will be creating in this code itself. So let's give a name to the bucket that I wanted to create. So currently if you see, there is no bucket here, and I want to create a bucket called as this name, that is Shabbir key bucket. And what I want to do is that I have this file addresses.csv as locally currently. So here you see this addresses.csv. I want to put this file into the bucket. So I will be giving two names here. This file name locally, it is lying at this address on my PC, and the name that I wanted to give on the S3 bucket. So let's run this three variables. Also, if you want to see if it's a CSV file or not, this is a CSV file and it has some basic data here. So firstly, let's create a client. So for that, we write S3 boto3.client. You declare the name of the service that you want to create a client with. So we are declaring it as S3, the region name, and then you have to pass two things here, that is AWS access key ID and AWS secret access key. So this access keys are actually run into a cell of this notebook, and obviously I am not going to show you my access key and my secret ID. So to get your own access key and ID, you just need to click on this option, and there you can see this my security credentials. Then you need to click on the dashboard, and there you see this manage access keys. So at a time, AWS gives you the option to keep two access keys, and you can also, like, if you want to generate more access keys, you need to delete one of them or make either of them inactive first, and then only you can create a new access key. So if you click on this tab, so obviously it will show you your access key and ID. So this is the access key that I have currently. So obviously I will be deleting this after this video and creating a new one, so that my security is not compromised. So let's go back to the code. So let's create the client with the access key and secret key. Now here we have bunch of functions declared. So the first functions is the list function. What it will do, using the S3, using the list bucket method, it will get us a response about all the buckets that are lying in the S3. So in my S3 console. So let's run this cell first, and we run this cell. So you see here that we don't have any buckets existing in my S3 console. So that's true, we don't have any S3 buckets here. So let's create an S3 bucket first. So for that, we have this separate function called create function. We are passing the bucket name. and using the S3 client we call the create bucket method and we pass the bucket name. Let's again call the create bucket function and then go for list function, list bucket. So you see here that now we have this response from the AWS client that this bucket is created. So if we reload this page again, so you see here the bucket is automatically created, but this bucket is empty, it doesn't have any objects here. So now now what we'll do is that we'll try to upload something which is on my system to the S3 bucket directly, whichever S3 bucket that you want to. So for that we have this file upload function. It has certain arguments here, that is the local file name, then the bucket name and the name of the file that you want at the S3 bucket. So for that we have this try catch error exceptions, because if suppose if the uploading fails, then it gives that okay, the upload was failed due to this reason, but if it gets successful, then you should be getting that upload is successful. So with the S3 client, again we call the upload file method, we pass in the name of the local file, bucket name and the name that we want at the S3 at the S3 bucket. So let's rerun this cell and let's first delete the bucket and recreate the bucket again so that there is no problem here. Okay, so the bucket is created. Now if we try to list the objects in the bucket, so you see that there are no objects currently in this bucket is empty. But if you want to upload files to your bucket, so so I showed you the function and we pass in 4 arguments, the label, that is this string literal which has this value, the bucket name which has this value. So the good thing about VS Code is that it will show you the value also that you have stored in the variable itself. So here the S3 has this addresses .csv. So let's try to run this thing. So it shows that upload is successful and the response is true. So now if we try to refresh it, you see here that we have a new object here in the bucket, that is addresses.csv, that was earlier on my local machine and now it has been uploaded to the S3 bucket. So now the reverse case, suppose that we have some file in the S3 bucket existing and we want to download it to back to the local. So what we'll do is that currently we have this addresses CSV again in the S3 bucket, in my S3 bucket. So we'll download it with some different name locally. So what I did is that I changed the local name from addresses to addresses1 and then call this file download function and pass in arguments like bucket name, file name on the bucket and the local file name. So if you want to see the function here, this is the function to download the file. Call the s3.download file, bucket name, mile file and the local file, and then if it's true, so it will return true and also print that the file is downloaded. Keep an eye on here. Here you see that there is no other CSV except addresses, but after you run this cell, you see the CSV that was addresses on the S3 bucket has been downloaded to the local file as addresses1 and we get the response as true. So now if you want to get the metadata, that is when the last object modification was taken place in a particular S3 bucket object, so we have the separate function for that. Let me show you the function first. So this is the function define object metadata, which actually calls the head object method using the S3 client, and it passes the bucket name and also the object on which you want to get the metadata. So we get the response for that. So let's try to call this method, and currently it has the addresses CSV. So it shows that this was the response that we got from the file. It was last modified on this date and it was of this much content. The size was of 328 bits and so on. So this is the metadata that we get from the object. And lastly, I wanted to show you a method, like suppose if you don't want to delete the bucket but you just want to empty the bucket. So for that what you will do, you have a separate method here, that is delete object. We pass the bucket name, we pass the S3 file name and we call the delete object method from the AWS client. So we want to delete the addresses. So if you see, this is the cell. Currently it has this file already on my system. So let's run the cell. So you see that all objects in the bucket are deleted. Now if you try to refresh the page, so it shows that this bucket doesn't have any file in it and the object has been deleted. So all this that I showed you with the CLI, Python CLI, that all things can be done directly from the dashboard here. Like you can delete the buckets, you can upload files, you can download files, and you can do like a lot of stuff here. So also let's go to through that also. So let's just re-upload the file first. So the file is again uploaded. Let me refresh it for you. So this is the addresses CSV. So if you click on the addresses CSV, you can get the, or you can share this object URL within your project, like wherever you want to. And if you want to delete this thing directly, that also can be done. If we go back, just select this CSV and click on the delete option. So here you see that the files that are present in this S3 bucket that you will be deleting, and just type here permanently delete and delete object. So you see the object has been deleted. So now if you again go to the service here, so you see that the bucket is now empty. Now if you just want to delete the bucket also, just select the bucket and then delete. So you see here that delete bucket, this bucket. To confirm your deletion, enter the name of the bucket and the input text field. So just enter the name of the bucket and you can directly delete the bucket. So this was all that I wanted to show you in this video, how you can play around with S3 buckets, that is a cloud storage service that is provided by AWS, and how you can manage that same with the help of your Python CLI AWS code. I hope that all the things that I have shown you in this video are clear to you. If you still have any doubts regarding the code that I have shown you, feel free to ask in the comment section below. I will definitely give you this IPYNB as a GitHub link below, so you can check that out too. So see you next time.